In a bold and controversial move, President Donald Trump has announced plans to reopen Alcatraz, the infamous federal prison in San Francisco Bay, to house America's most dangerous criminals. The directive, shared via a fiery post on Truth Social, has sparked heated debate across the nation, with supporters praising it as a return to law and order, while critics slam it as an impractical and costly stunt. The announcement comes amid Trump's broader push to crack down on crime and immigration, but the plan faces significant hurdles, from logistical challenges to legal battles. Trump's vision is to transform Alcatraz, shuttered since 1963, into a substantially enlarged and rebuilt, maximum security facility. He's tasked the Bureau of Prisons, Department of Justice, FBI, and Department of Homeland Security with making it happen. In his Truth Social post, Trump declared, "For too long, America has been plagued by vicious, violent and repeat criminal offenders, the dregs of society, who will never contribute anything other than misery and suffering." He framed the reopening as a symbol of law, order and justice, arguing it would deter crime and protect communities. Alcatraz, a 22-acre island fortress, was once home to notorious figures like Al Capone and George "Machine Gun" Kelly. Its remote location and icy waters made it escape-proof, but it closed 6 decades ago due to crumbling infrastructure and sky-high operating costs, 3 times those of other federal prisons. Today it's a National Historic Landmark and a popular tourist destination, drawing 1.4 million visitors annually to the Golden Gate National Recreation Area. Reopening it as a prison would require a massive overhaul, with estimates suggesting costs could reach $1 billion and take 6 to 8 years. Supporters see the plan as a decisive step towards safer streets. On Fox and Friends, former U.S. Army Deputy Assistant Secretary Van Hipp argued that Trump's construction expertise makes him uniquely qualified to tackle the project. "We've had the best builder in America for years in the commercial sector, Donald Trump," Hipp said, dismissing concerns about costs and bureaucracy. He emphasized that voters want action against thugs and gangs roaming rampant, and criminals crossing borders, aligning the plan with Trump's mandate to prioritize public safety. However, critics are skeptical, calling the proposal unrealistic and politically motivated. Legal analyst Greg Jarrett, also on Fox and Friends, noted that while Alcatraz is federal property, its landmark status would trigger an avalanche of lawsuits in California, potentially stalling the project for years. The prison's dilapidated state, described as crumbling even in its operational days, adds to the challenge. Former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, whose district includes Alcatraz, dismissed the idea as not serious, pointing to its role as a revenue-generating national park. San Francisco State Senator Scott Wiener went further, labeling it absurd and warning of a domestic gulag in the Bay. The plan's feasibility is questionable. The Bureau of Prisons, already grappling with $2 billion in repair needs across its facilities, would struggle to fund such an ambitious project. In 1959, Alcatraz's per capita cost was $10.10 daily, compared to $3 for other prisons, due to the need to ship all supplies, including 1 million gallons of water weekly, by boat. A 2024 rehabilitation project for seismic upgrades, funded at $63.6 million, isn't set to finish until 2027. Even if rebuilt, Alcatraz's small capacity, historically 260 to 275 inmates, would house less than 1% of the current federal prison population of over 156,000. Trump's rhetoric ties the plan to his broader agenda, including controversial immigration policies. He's clashed with courts over attempts to deport alleged gang members to El Salvador's maximum security prisons without due process, and his Alcatraz proposal hints at circumventing radicalized judges who demand trials. Civil rights attorney Scott Heckinger called it a sensational distraction from Trump's budget cuts to anti-crime programs, arguing it will never actually happen and does little to address systemic issues like prison overpopulation or the 2 million incarcerated in the U.S. Public reaction is polarized. On X, some users hailed the move as a bold stance against crime, with one post calling Alcatraz's revival ground zero for America's most violent offenders. Others mocked it as a fantasy, with estimates of a $1 billion price tag and years of delays. One user speculated Trump drew inspiration from watching the 1979 film Escape from Alcatraz on TV, highlighting the plan's seemingly impulsive nature. Trump himself described it as just an idea, when pressed by reporters, suggesting it may be more symbolic than concrete. Environmental and regulatory hurdles loom large. California's strict regulations could derail construction, and the National Park Service's control of the island complicates matters. The proposal also raises questions about its impact on tourism and local jobs, given Alcatraz's economic significance. Critics argue that investing in prevention programs or modern facilities would be more effective than reviving a relic of the past. As the debate rages, the Bureau of Prisons has pledged to vigorously pursue all avenues to implement Trump's directive, but details remain scarce. Whether Alcatraz will once again lock up the nation's worst offenders or remain a museum of history is uncertain. For now, Trump's plan has reignited discussions about crime, justice, and the lengths America will go to restore order or project it.